My name is Avi Lasarow. I'm the CEO of Trimega laboratories. I'm also an entrepreneur who has recently gone back to South Africa.
You previously worked at Citibank. How did you make the transition from working for a boss to being your own boss?
I had a great opportunity at Citibank. I travelled extensively for them, doing information technology, so IT, what a lot of South Africans do, and Australians and sort of Southern Hemisphere folk. But I enjoyed working in a corporate world. At some point in the process, the particular project I was on was stopped. I was given an opportunity to be made redundant and take a small amount of cash or continue working in a call center somewhere or data center in Germany. And I decided to go on my own. And really, once you've worked on your own or you start working for yourself, it becomes a survival game, really. If you don't succeed, you don't have money. You don't have money, you don't eat. So you have to succeed, and that's it.
Avi, you said you were at an ANC meeting which inspired you to move back to South Africa. What was it about that meeting and what happened at that moment?
Well, I think I was at a meeting where there were a large number of representatives from the ruling party, the ANC.
My name is Interim Xolani, a representative of the African National Congress, London branch. I serve as Interim Deputy Chairperson. The role of the ANC in London is not from today. The ANC in London was formed in 1961. When Oliver Tambo, himself the long-serving president of the African National Congress, with 25 years here in London, out of his 30 years serving for the movement, his role was to make sure that we destroy the anti-apartheid government in South Africa, to free the people of South Africa, making sure that the people of South Africa receive a free education, the people of South Africa receive equal rights, excuse me, the people of South Africa receive their freedom.
And at that meeting, Gwede Mantashe, the ANC, one of the top ANC officials, actually said, he encourages global South Africans to come back. And that really sort of encapsulated something in me because, typically, as a white South African who left South Africa many years ago, the feeling that I've had living in the UK for such a long time is that people sort of ran away.
What I cannot answer is people who are leaving South Africa today, who after they have benefited out of the South African government, they have achieved, some of them degrees, masters, out of scholarship, out of the government of South Africa, in this democratic government.
And really now what's changed, I think, is the perception of people who have left South Africa to become global South Africans. And now you can go back feeling proud as a global South African with lots of experience and actually doing something or going back with something which you can transfer to others in terms of knowledge transfer and giving something back to people locally.
There are many South Africans who have left South Africa because of positive discrimination or whatever reason. What is your view on this, and how can we include these people because they feel that they are left out?
Well, we have to put it like this. If you are talking about people who are feeling to be left out after democracy in South Africa in 1994, certainly for one, I do not understand. Because if you could ask me a question of, what about those who have left South Africa during the exile when the ANC was banned in South Africa, when the ANC were not even allowed to wave their flag, especially abroad, even in South Africa? You could ask those, how did they felt to operate abroad? They have sacrificed their life. Or the people have died, the people have sacrificed their families.
In terms of BEE, I have to say that I've met a lot of educated, very educated black people in South Africa who I'd be proud to be as my BEE partner, And I think there's something called fronting, I think, in South Africa, which is known where, existing companies might find a group of black people who aren't as educated just to have the BE quota filled. But I think that's the wrong way to go because I think there's a growing amount of educated black entrepreneurs in South Africa, and I think you just need to tap into that pool.
If you ask a question of, do you understand there's people who are poor in South Africa and there's people who are rich in South Africa, I'll say certainly yes.
They often use the word educated, they often use the word educated entrepreneurs, and that seems to have always been in the back of my mind when living in South Africa, and I was taught that at school. If you don't get your matric, if you don't get your tertiary education, you have to be able to learn Afrikaans, you're not going to be successful.
Before even we receive or we achieve or we obtain a democracy in South Africa, they were always poor. I'm still one of the poor, and my grandmom was one of the poor.
What I'd like to do is dispel that myth and say to you, if you don't have a matric, but you have a vision, and you have the ability and the will and the want to actually take that vision and turn it into reality, you definitely can do it.
Probably most people who have achieved and benefited out of that government, it was the government of the white people.
The difference, in my opinion, of successful entrepreneurs versus ones that aren't successful are people basically which see something and actually make it happen rather than don't.
ANC lead and the ANC government. So the ANC will always be upfront saying to the people, whatever is happening, but we must be there leading you to the direction.